Hi guys, welcome back to the Baseline. Today we have a little bit of breaking news. The National Guard has just been called to Los Angeles for ICE riot for immigration. Now, this all happened in the Home Depot. It's one of the wildest protests. So listen, if you ever wanted to know what happens when a bunch of Border Patrol agents meet a politically charged crowd in a Home Depot parking lot, well, that's happening in LA on a Saturday. So buckle up, because this is one of those only in America type of stories. We've got riots, we got rocks, we got pepper spray, cartons of milk, Border Patrol and gas masks, and a protest that started because somebody thought an ICE raid was happening next to the gardening section. Yeah, that's not satire, that's real life. It's happening in real time. So here's the stage. Let's set the stage. Why are we here? So here's what happened. A group of federal agents, real federal agents, decided to stage up for an operation in the parking lot of Home Depot in Paramount, California. Now, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I leave that up to you guys and to put in the comment section of how you feel about all this. But nothing says keep it low key than a Bearcat armored vehicle next to someone buying mulch at Home Depot. But of course, that's what happened. And next, people see this and TikTok turns it into a national incident. And citizen journalists, they just go live. And before you can say, get the duct tape, there's a protest. So, and it's just not any regular type of protest. No, this one is turning into a full-on bottle throwing, rock slinging, pepper spray riot. So protest or riot, I don't know who decides, but again, that's something I'll have to leave to you guys. But here's the weird part. Everyone's watching this happen live right now, and the media's got drones, police have gas masks, and protesters have a ton of milk, which, by the way, we wonder why I mentioned milk. It seems to be the poor man's antidote to pepper spray. So I didn't know that, actually. I don't know if you guys did or not. But so the next time someone says got milk, I'm going to be like, nah, I think I'm okay. I don't want to get tear gas today. But here's what authorities are saying right now. They are monitoring the situation and hope to wear down the protesters with manpower. And I don't know if that's a good strategy or not, but I hope, of course, nobody gets hurt. I hope the violence calms down and there could be some resolution in sight. But it's an interesting strategy for right now, but it almost seems kind of, I don't know. So let me bring you to the next point. A police officer, I think Jamie is all I got out of it, but he's a retired cop, and I saw him on TV, and he was trying his best to sound like a rational uncle at Thanksgiving, you know. And he says this basically. He says some people really believe in the cause, and some people are just bad actors. And we've certainly seen that before in all types of riots, whether it's, you know, rioting after a football game, or whether it's a riot after who knows what. But this is law enforcement showing up, and they're showing up hard right now. And that's where things are getting a little bit dicey, because when you bring in the BORTAC unit, you know, when they show up now, and so let me back up a little bit. If you've never heard what a BORTAC thing is, it's like a SWAT team that had a baby with SEAL Team 6 and then raised it in the desert or something. These guys show up and they look like Call of Duty just got a federal grant. But they're actually the same team, I think, that showed up to Uvalde. But you probably have to fact check me on that one. But yeah, that's the energy right now they're bringing to the Home Depot parking lot. Now that brings us to who's responsible here and where this story turns from wild to wilder. I don't know, because all of this seems like it could have been avoided if someone in charge just said, hey, maybe don't hold a federal operation in public. Now, you know, that's where everyone is already pissed off, about ICE and the immigration issues. Now, is it the best way? I don't know. Maybe you guys have an opinion in regards to that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. But let's put the staging area right between the hot dog cart and the propane tank and see what happens. No way anybody's going to notice that, right? But this also brings in the power of misinformation. So this is what makes this story even a little bit crazier, that there wasn't even an ICE raid going on. No one was being arrested. No immigrants were being taken. The feds were literally just hanging out waiting to be briefed. But TikTok didn't know that. Twitter didn't know that. And now you've got people organizing entire protests around a rumor, like it's a fire festival of immigration enforcement. So the military or the National Guard has been now sent in, and this is when the military is really going to step in and make things happen. So of course that's what happened next, right? President Trump ends up calling the National Guard, because when you've got 200 people in LA, waving banners and they're yelling about ICE and the violence is starting to escalate, National Guard is going to get sent in. But it's not even funny anymore, because that's what we do now. We turn every protest into a potential combat zone. And that's, that's the interesting thing, because protest is where people want to be heard. And is that the price of violence? I mean, I don't know. The human cost is there too. One protester got hit in the eye by less than lethal round of and lost vision. Another group got trapped between pepper spray on one side and police lines on the other. And here's the messed up part about the whole thing. Most of them weren't even violent, and they were just there. But it only takes a few people throwing rocks for the whole crowd to get painted as criminals. We're in a really interesting time, and sometimes this seems like the American loop, right? Like it's a repeat, rage, forget. And sometimes this just seems like where we excel nowadays, the cycle of protest and outrage, overreaction, and memory loss. We get mad, we go to the streets, the media rolls the footage, some poor person gets pepper sprayed or hurt, and then we forget, and nothing ever changes. We keep asking, what's the right way to protest? And that seems to be a question that is really difficult to answer at times, but I guess the answer depends on who's watching. So if you kneel at a football game, a lot of people really took offense to that, and you're disrespecting the flag of the United States and the military. If you march on the street, you're blocking traffic. If you post online, you're not doing enough. So many opinions, no real right way to do a protest. I don't know, but here's the real question. What are people allowed to do? Like when they've run out of ways to be heard, what do they do? And I guess that leads us, kind of to the milk and the message and the madness of this whole thing. So there's a lot going on. The protests aren't just about ICE. They're about people feeling invisible. And they're about people who are tired of being told to wait or to be quiet or get a permit. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on this. I think everybody wants to be heard on this whole thing. Now, if you're watching this, or you're confused, or you're angry, or you're wondering if this country's falling apart, or if whatever side you're on, remember this isn't new. This is an echo of a system that's been existing for a while. Now, has it been built equally for everyone? I leave that to you guys to comment on and evaluate. But the good news, guys, people are paying attention, people are recording, people are showing up, and sometimes all it takes is to expose the truth. And sometimes it has to happen in a Home Depot parking lot. Well, so be it. And if you guys are in the middle of all this stuff, don't forget your milk. Don't get pepper sprayed. And, tone down the violence for sure, because that is the worst way to approach any one of this issues. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Keep posted and updated. I'm going to do the same, and leave your comment in the comment section below. Let me know where you guys stand on all this stuff. All right, thanks for watching.